Hi, we're Brisbane Boys in Dance, our communication project. We are here with
Christian.
And we are going to be discussing Christian's dance journey and getting to know a little bit more about you.
Sounds great.
Nice.
Sounds fun.
So you started later in life in your dance journey.
Yep.
Just recently, hey.
Yeah.
So what dance styles do you specialise in?
Well, specialise in. I wouldn't say specialise in. I would say styles I attempt to do. This is like hip hop, like urban hip hop kind of thing. Like more so on the choreography side. Like I'd love to understand different foundations and stuff, but just haven't gone out of my way to do so. But I do plan on doing so.
That comes with time as well. Yeah. What makes you drawn to the hip hop and choreography scene?
I think it's simple answer, it just looks super cool. But then that's kind of when I think of dance for me, I think of hip hop. I understand there's different genres of dance, but for me, hip hop is what I gravitated towards, mainly because the different styles was really intriguing. The music is lit. But I think it's just one thing that really captures my attention the most, the energy, the different dynamics behind it, makes it for me I can't, there's not a single second where I can take my eyes off it. I have to just watch it throughout the whole thing. And I think it's just a definitely intriguing style of dance that I'm grateful to be a part of. Yeah.
Yeah, great. So obviously you're a part of the Academy, which is a studio here in Brisbane. Who have been your mentors throughout your time there?
Yeah, so mentors have been Jason Weiland, who's the director of the Academy. He kind of just oversees everyone's training as well as gives everyone feedback throughout the year and stuff, which I think is so dope of him to do. Last year it was Casey Hargraves who ran the team I was a part of, which is called The One Time. So I learned from him and his understanding of music, and how he uses different movements to kind of embody his, I guess, understanding of it, as well as different ways to utilize certain movement pathways and stuff like that. So I learned a lot from him, and he's one of my best mates, so love that guy. And then this year is Deja and Riley. So we're fortunate enough to have two mentors this year, two different styles of dance, but two of the same personalities in a sense. Riley's more of the kind of discipline, pushing hard work and stuff, and Deja's more on the positive side, really very supportive. Not saying Riley isn't, but Deja, when you think of Deja, you just think of the most supportive person out there. And then we have other faculty members as well who train us every few weeks, depending on who's on company training. And it's just cool being able to learn from different people and like I said, their way of moving and their understanding of dance and music. So I think it definitely helps build knowledge, as well as different personality traits and different concepts that we can utilize in our daily lives as well as dance. So
nice. Yeah. So you were saying before you've had a few mentors, Jason and Casey, and Riley as well. How has it impacted you having male role models and male mentors? Do you think that's been a positive experience for you?
I think definitely has been a positive experience. Being able to talk to them, socialize with them outside of dance studio. It's dope. And like I said, they're really close with me, so I always ask for their honest, and I tell them please be brutally honest kind of with me. This is something I want to do well, and at the end of the day, I think honesty is, for me, is how I'm going to be able to understand dancing kind of thing. But having positive role models, male role models, has been dope, just because I think a lot of the dancing I watched growing up is male dance crews and stuff, but I never really got to see the stuff behind the scenes and how they got to where they are now. So being able to understand their different dance stories and journeys, there's a sense of I can relate to that, and it just helps me realize that, all right, what I'm going through, my dance journey, although it's different for people, it's the same in a sense that everyone started off struggling, and like it took a while for different people to get to where they are. So it definitely helped me like become more content with myself and my dancing.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I think also just having that community around you as well, and people who can relate to what you're going through, it makes a huge difference in feeling comfortable and supported in a studio.
Oh, 100%.
But could you share a time that you did have to step out of your comfort zone?
I would say, like, so with hip hop, there's different styles of hip hop, and like there's also like, for example, like femme hip hop, and we have like Riley's really good at doing femme hip hop. Like he can just move a certain way that I not like one struggle with like to do on its own, but also like struggle to like embrace like the femme part of like male hip hop dancing, just because it is very uncomfortable moving a certain way. So I definitely like overthink it in my head, and you can like when I'm dancing and doing femme hip hop, like Riley's choreo for example, like you can just see it in my face how uncomfortable I am doing it. But I think it is just part of the journey of like just being more open-minded, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
do you think that sense of being uncomfortable comes from being like you were in a sporting background?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's some sort of like mindset like this is not what I should be doing?
I definitely think about that a lot. Obviously like basketball, it's just very aggressive kind of thing. Whereas dancing, there is an aggressive side to it, but there is like a femme side to it, like a more softer side to it. Part of the uncomfortability as well is like people who have never seen me dance, let alone dance a certain way. Definitely like I get really anxious about it. But yeah, like I think that would probably be it. Like just because sport is more of like an aggressive like element, that and dancing has its aggressive like part to it, but like the softer side is something I wasn't used to. So being able to try and embody that, definitely hard and still uncomfortable to this day.
Nice.
Yeah.
You've only been dancing for a little bit.
Yeah.
But have you ever had to deal with any injuries or anything? Or anything that's come from your sporting background that affects you now?
Yeah, so in sport, I can't even tell you how many times I've done my ankles and my knees. Definitely like injuries is a part of it, but I think it's a little different. I'd say like I've injured myself here and there. Fortunately, like nothing major. I think part of it though is my lack of stretching. It's really bad. Definitely stretch.
So that's a goal that you can set moving forward as well.
Oh, for sure. I definitely need to stretch. But fortunately, I haven't had major injuries, but there's certain things where like sometimes like my like right ankle, which I've injured multiple times, kind of bothers me now, especially if I roll it like the slightest, just because it's had that history of being absolutely wrecked. But yeah, definitely I'm trying. I promise I'm trying to take care of my body.
Perfect. And obviously, coming from sport as well, you'd also have a certain like element of predetermined strength and mobility that also probably assists you in injury prevention in the whole.
Yeah, for sure.
Dance is competitive. We know this. You compete. You have competed. How do you approach competition? Do you have any rituals or anything? Like, what mindset do you put yourself in for that?
Yeah, I do. So, I think it kind of started off like I didn't pre-plan a ritual. It kind of just happened. Like my first time ever performing, I was just like mad anxiety was just hitting me that day, and I just needed to be like away from everyone, kind of thing. So, I definitely did my own time to kind of gather my thoughts and like understand what I'm about to do, in a sense. But like over time, I've kind of developed like more of a ritual. So I say like it's like just a general would be so like get to the venue super early. I need to be at the venue super early because I just need to be like in like the presence of where I'm going to be for like the rest of the day, kind of thing. And then so like, we just gather as a crew, go through training, like individual training first, like last minute touch-ups, and then come together as a crew just run it a few times, just understand like the staging and stuff. Then afterwards, once everything's done, I kind of put my earphones on. I like listen to music, like calming music. So sometimes like worship music, and then just music that's like really calm and chill. And then after that, I'll listen to the mix just on repeat for like 30-40 minutes and kind of just mark everything in my head. And then after that, once I've got like the nerves out, like the calmness is in, like just in me, I just approach everyone again and then just kind of like vibe kind of thing afterwards. Like after like my time to myself, I'm super extroverted in a sense, like I'm just like annoying everyone, like
you're ready to go.
Just yeah, I'm like really like keen to go, like I'm blasting music super loud. So like obviously we're called The One Time, so I like just blast out One Time by Justin Bieber for like 10 minutes straight to kind of just like get in the zone. That's just my ritual kind of thing that I've like developed over time. But, yeah.
You were saying that you had really bad anxiety on the day that you first competed.
Yeah.
How do you think dance or being a male dancer impacts your relationship with your mental health? Obviously, mental health is quite a big stigma for people, but also for men especially, and then men in dance, just another layer of
for sure.
Yeah. So how do you think that's impacted how do you think dance has impacted your relationship with your mental health?
Yeah, I think it's definitely been up and down. I feel like it's affected me negatively in a sense, like I just get like distracted, and then like for example with dancing, like the first time I competed or showcase, like when we're going through the runs, like we're not even on stage yet and I'm just like forgetting everything, like just forgetting all the choreo, what I'm supposed to be doing, and everyone's like, Christian, what are you doing, and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. But I think I've definitely just been like, I reach out to people, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, like, and these anxieties is messing up with me kind of thing, and like just asking for advice or ways I can just cope with it. Just because it's something like, I don't think you know what to do, especially when you're like in that moment of like where anxiety is just hitting you to like its peak. Just trying to like seek for advice, like, and they've just told me to kind of just embrace, just be in the moment, like feel what you're feeling, just know like those feelings are valid. That's probably the one thing I've learned and how it's kind of helped me, like especially dancing, just turning those nerves and that anxiety to like positive energy kind of, so when you get on stage that you kind of just like you just dance your like heart out, so like all the emotions just come out of your dancing. I have no idea if that really answered the question.
Yeah, it does. When you do dance and those emotions are coming out, what emotions do you aim to share with the audience when you dance?
So obviously the obvious would be depending on like the song.
Yeah.
So if the song is a very gangster song, you kind of try to embody that really like too cool kind of vibe. And if the song's more of a slow jam, you kind of try and embody that like in your feels, like you're in love kind of personality. But usually I think when I dance and then when we dance as a whole, I guess what we want to show is that how fun dancing is for us, like, and that we're not just dancing because we want to dance, because it gives us so much joy, and like we're able to express like different feelings and emotions and different characters that like we may not express on the regular. Definitely just to show people that we love what we're doing. I think that would be the biggest thing.
Do you think that loving dance and showing that you love dance should be the standard on what dance should be across the board, whether that it should be more competitive and a more sport type, or a more relaxed, whether we shouldn't compete at all? Do you think it should just be about the enjoyment?
I think with anything you do, and then especially dance, it should be out of enjoyment. I think that's why a lot of people fall out of dance at a certain age, maybe. Like, I could be wrong, just from my personal like opinion, and like from what I've seen, that the people who do fall out of dance like early are those, I guess, they're forced into it, or they have to, like, they're doing it because they were born to do it, or like they're good at it, they have to do it kind of thing. But definitely I think it has to come from a good heart, and then because then at the end of the day, like, regardless of what happens, like, you know that you were in it for the right reasons, like your heart was there. And then there's also, I think for the dance scene, especially in Brisbane, I think community is a big part. Like, we all go to these comps, everyone sees the same dances and stuff, but what I like to see is like different studios like interacting with each other. Like, I just don't think there should be no room for like drama, beef, tea. Yes, I think people will be like, it's just competitiveness. Like, yeah, fair enough. I think there's a level of competitiveness, but also there should be like a sign of respect, like showcased to everyone. Because at the end of the day, everyone's like, obviously everyone's journey is different, but we all know what we did to get to where we are. So for a comp, like, we know every studio, every crew has put in hundreds of hours to try and produce the best routine performance they can. And then, you know, fortunately enough for everyone, like, we get to showcase that in front of a group of people as well as the dance crews that we're competing against. So I think it'd be cool to just acknowledge like the hard work that everyone's put in. And I think for me, that's what comps is about as well. Like, yes, there's first, second, third, and everyone should be aiming to like win because it is a comp at the end of the day. But I think don't let that winning mindset like ignore everyone else. Because for me, I love watching different crews dance. Like, there's so many crews in Brisbane and I love watching them dance, and then after comps you kind of just say, hey, oh, you did great. And that's, I feel like, how you build connections.
And you see those people in classes as well.
Exactly. So you see the people you compete against, and then you go to a class and like you're there. So then you can have like that interaction with them. And as time goes by, you know, you see them more, you hang out more. Like, some of my closest friends now I met at comps, and I see them like to this day. So I think that's what it should be about. Like, dancing is like a wonderful art form that we should just cherish and just show respect to each other, kind of thing, because it is something that is special to a lot of people, and that on the surface level it is just dancing, but behind the scenes it's a lot of blood, sweat, tears, sleepless nights, 3 a.m, 4 a.m. finishes, 5 to 10 hour training sessions. So I think it's just a way of just expressing our gratitude and love towards dance.
Yeah. So obviously community is super important to you. From an outside perspective of the dance community, what do you think is the most misunderstood aspect?
I'd say, I guess, kind of touched up on it before, like, I guess the process, because like the people who come to watch us, they just see the 3-minute, 4-minute routine. I think exactly. So I think different studios, different crews have different, like, the journey to the comp is different. Like, we've had comps where 2 people may have pulled out like last minute, so now you got to reformat a whole routine. So like, and then also there's like different ages, different availability. Sometimes trainings we would have like half a team just because like people are at uni, work commitments, different stuff like that. So I think people are aware of how difficult it is, like the process, but it's a lot more harder, I think, than what people think, just because everyone's process is different. But I'm probably missing a lot of things, but from what I can think of, definitely just the behind the scenes stuff, I think, is so huge that it's the 3 minutes that we get on stage is like a small representation of who we are, but the behind the scenes stuff is really what builds us. I'd say that's probably something that's like somewhat misunderstood.
Yeah. We were talking about this a bit earlier, how important it is to post on your Instagram feed.
Yes.
Social media is a great tool to connect with people, as we were saying as well, like at competitions, you see those people at classes, you comment on things, it builds the community once again. How do you use social media as a dancer, and what impact do you think it has on the dance community?
For me, the number one social platform I guess I use to like promote my dancing is Instagram. But I tend to post on my stories more instead of the actual feed. One, because stories, so like I am somewhat self-conscious of my dancing sometimes, and So I'll post it on my story, sometimes on my close friends even. Like, it'll be up for 24 hours and no one will ever see it again. And I'm like less likely to post on my feed, but I probably should post on my feed because I think, yeah, like the reason I don't post as much is because of like I'm self-conscious, but I think that's just me overthinking everything. But like the few times I have posted like on my feed, I think you'll get to see a side of yourself that you don't see. So I think for me, like sometimes I don't see if I'm growing as a dancer, but I'll just post it, like I'm just gonna post it for the sake of posting it. But then you have people commenting like genuinely like seeing like proud of the progress you made. So it's like, oh, maybe I am doing something right. And that, like, yes, people do that as well. When I post in my story, like they reply about like my growth and all that. But I guess just having something on your feed that you can look back on, not having to like search through your archives, like it's just gonna be there. It's something that I think people should do more of. Obviously, if you're comfortable doing so, but I definitely would. Like, I definitely think people should do it. It's just something to look back on, like a time memory thing. Like you look back at yourself like 3 years from now, like that's what I used to look like.
And now I look like this.
Now I look like this kind of thing. So I think, yeah, just trying to
beat that mind block.
Exactly, yeah. And then it's a good way of like the TikTok, Instagram algorithm is so weird. Like you'll post a video and you never know, like someone from America might see it. And that
think you're really cool.
Yeah, so think you're really cool, and then like kind of thing, and especially if you're someone who's pursuing dance as like a career, if you post it, you never know what agency might hit you up. So I think it's definitely something you should do for yourself. Of course, like be like happy with what you're posting, even if you're not. Just like find like a positive element to why you're posting it. And then I feel like everything will take care of itself. And then if you're worried about people like hating and stuff, yeah, like, hate is just gonna exist kind of thing. So it's a part of life, unfortunately.
I think the positive dance community is stronger than that one person.
Oh, 100%. I think like 99% of the time people will comment more a positive thing than a negative thing, from my experience as well. So I think if you just try and get rid of that mind block and just know that you're doing this for yourself and it doesn't really matter what other people think. I know it's easier said than done, but I think if you just try to work towards that, then I think life will be sweet.
Nice. Well, thank you for talking with us today.
Of course, thank you for having me.
It's been great having you and finding out more about your journey in dance, especially because it is so unique and so new as well.
Yeah, definitely didn't envision myself going down this path. I thought I'd be playing basketball forever, but dance has done so much for me.
Do you still play basketball?
Funny enough, I don't.
Oh.
I just I think last year I played basketball maybe once the whole year. And I like played basketball from like 5 till I was like 20. Wow. Like 5 days a week kind of thing.
Do you still, do you think you just found something you're more passionate about? Or?
I think it's, like partly that, but I think the friends I've made, like I honestly like, I could talk about my friends I've made at dance, like the people from the academy, like all day. They've just touched a part of my life that I didn't think I like. Yeah, they just hit my heart in a certain way that I just can't explain how like meaningful and how much they mean to me. And I feel like being able to do the same thing as them kind of thing is, yeah, it's just I can't describe it other than like a cool experience kind of thing.
Right.
It definitely has like...
It's a different community.
Different community, for sure. And like something I definitely wasn't used to ever growing up.
Yeah.
So it's definitely... They make it a lot. Like, they make it a special place. Like, it's home... I'll say home away from home, but it's like my number one home to me.
Oh,
so yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for talking with us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. No.
Thank you.
Okay.